Here are 3 things that you need to know in order to start a fully functioning LLC. Hey everyone, my name is Brandon Pettijohn. I'm an attorney, and today I'm going to be talking to you about the 3 things that you need in order to actually limit your liability when starting a limited liability company. Quick disclaimer, I am an attorney, but I'm not your attorney. If you have questions, contact an attorney in your area. This is just legal education, so just take it for what it is. The first step in starting an LLC is going to be filing the articles of organization with your state. Now, each state is different. Each state has an administrative agency that maintains business records and is responsible for starting businesses. So most states are going to call that the Secretary of State's office. So you're going to go to their website, just Google your state and Secretary of State's office, and go to the business formation tab. And most states have now allowed you to do this online. You're going to have to provide some information to them. So organizer information, whoever is filling out this information, could be you could be doing it for someone else, just whoever is the organizer who's going to be doing that. The next step is you're going to have to provide an address for the business. Now, this can go one of 2 ways, right? Most people are starting businesses out of their homes and they don't have a physical brick and mortar address. That's fine. Having your house address as your business address does not necessarily prejudice you at all. It doesn't open you up to liability. So as long as you follow these other couple steps, you should be fine. If you don't want to have your personal address out there for the public to see, you can go down to UPS or some sort of other carrier and actually get a physical mailing address and suite number from them for a fee per year. Lastly, what you're going to need is a registered agent. Now, the registered agent is going to be the person that receives certain information and process if you actually get sued. So this is very important to have and to keep updated once you file this information. I would suggest either having it be you, or there are certain companies out there who will do it for a fee per year. Most of them is going to be between $100 and a couple $100 a year. And you're basically going to be naming them as your agent, and they're going to get that information for you. Once you've completed all of that information, you're going to be prompted to pay. So you're going to have to pay whatever fee that your state requires. Just so you know that if you're trying to get this done fast and really quick, if the state does not have a quick turnaround time, then you're going to be able to pay a fee, an additional fee, to get it expedited. So if it's a couple days or a couple weeks and you need it back like tomorrow, typically the state will allow you to pay more money and they'll expedite it for you. Once your articles of organization are filed with the state and you receive them back, your business is technically open and ready to run. That does not mean that by having an LLC from the state that your liability is actually limited. I suggest following these next 2 steps to ensure that you limit the liability of your personal assets so they won't be pulled into a lawsuit against you or your business. Okay, so the next thing that you're going to need in order to limit your liability is an operating agreement. What is an operating agreement? An operating agreement is a set of documents that actually lays out the company, what the company's purpose is. It's going to appoint certain members as different officers, and it's going to govern how the business is operated by the name operating agreement. So why do you need it? So without an operating agreement, the business actually looks more like a sole proprietorship and a partnership, which lowers your limited liability, and you really don't get the protections of an LLC if you don't have this operating agreement in place. It's a formality. It's something that if you're ever sued, they're going to ask and they're going to want to see. Because if you don't have this, then it looks like more like you're just doing it out of your house. You're a sole proprietor and that's it. You're not actually operating like an actual company. Each company is going to have an operating agreement, so it's just important to have this. Once the document is signed, it actually becomes a contract and it's binding on all the members that are a part of it. You should hire an attorney to do this, because they are complicated. The ones that I draft are, 40, 50 pages long. But you can buy templates online. Now, I would ask you to research who you're buying a template from to make sure it's not just a fly-by-night company, somebody who started this out of their basement. Because, there are a lot of companies out there that have actual attorneys who are looking over these. even though they're not technically legal documents, they're just contracts, they're templates. So just do your research and be cautious. The last thing you need is an EIN and bank account. Now, this seems pretty simple, but having a separate bank account will actually be a very important step in limiting your liability. If you're ever sued and they look at your assets, if you're commingling your personal assets and your business assets, meaning that you're paying vendors, you're taking money into your personal account on behalf of the business, that commingling is going to deteriorate how much you're actually separating yourself from the business, right? We started this business so it's a separate entity. You have me, you have the business. But if you're using the same bank account, it all flows from the same place. So you're gonna have to start that bank account. So in order to start a bank account, you're gonna need an EIN, which is an employer identification number. You can get this from the IRS at irs.gov for free. You go on there, you fill out some information, put your social in there, the name of the business, when it was formed, and they'll pop it out to you right then and there. Make sure you save that PDF or print it so that you have that copy, because if you end up losing it, it could take several weeks, up to 6 weeks for the IRS to get you your copy. Once you have your EIN in hand, you can print it off right then and there from the IRS. You'll also want to draft a very basic letter with company letterhead. Now, if you don't have company letterhead, it's really easy to make. You just put the name of the company, the address, the telephone number, and then that's your letterhead. So most banks want to see a document from the company which states to whom it may concern, this person, whoever you are. So even if I'm doing it myself, right? Brandon Pettijohn is authorized by the company to open a banking account with this institution, the institution that you're choosing, and they are going to be the signatory on all the documents and checks. Signed, my name, representative of the company, manager, owner, whatever that is. You'll need that, you'll need your operating agreement, and you'll need the articles of organization. Those documents are all going to be needed most likely by your bank in order to open a business checking account. Once you have those 3 items, you'll be able to open the bank account, and that's kind of the last step in limiting your liability. Okay, so a quick recap. 3 things you need in order to actually limit the liability of your company is 1, to start a limited liability company. 2 is to get an operating agreement in place. And 3 is to obtain your EIN from the Internal Revenue Service and open a bank account. Use all your funds from the business, put that into the bank account, and then pay yourself out of that bank account. I suggest writing yourself checks. It leaves a paper trail, but that's going to help limit your liability. Thanks for stopping by. If you have any questions or comments, just go ahead and leave them below. Like, subscribe, and share, and let me know what you think.